Hello guys, in this video we will understand what is a Docker image, what is a Docker container, what is a Docker registry, as well as we will look at some of the basic Docker commands. Starting with the Docker image is like a class from the object-oriented programming. That means Docker images are the blueprint of your application. So, Docker image is nothing but an instruction template which defines or encapsulates all the dependencies of your application. Just like we need class to create objects in object-oriented programming, in Docker we need a Docker image to create Docker containers, which means containers are nothing but the running instances of your Docker image. Docker containers has all your application dependencies installed, or we can say that whatever dependencies you have defined in your Docker image, Docker containers already have those dependencies installed. Docker containers are also isolated from the host operating system, which means any change you make inside the container will not affect your host operating system. Not only Docker containers are isolated from the host operating system, Docker containers can also deploy applications inside of them, can also have their own file system, and can do whatever your host operating system can do. Now that we understand what is a Docker image and what is a Docker container, don't you think that Docker containers and VM are the same, because both are isolated from the host operating system and can have their own file system and can also deploy applications inside of them? Write down what you think in the comment, because we will cover the differences and similarities between them in the future videos. Let us look at some of the ways by which we can create or use Docker images. Starting with the Dockerfile. Dockerfile helps you create your own custom Docker images. Dockerfile is an instruction template where you define all the dependencies of your application, and to build Docker image from the Dockerfile, use the command docker build, and it will create a Docker image for you, which you can then use to run it as a container. If you do not want to create your own Docker image, you can use Docker images created by others. Images created by others are found on Docker Registry. Docker Registry is a place from where you can use Docker images created by others, and you can also publish your own images so that other people can use it. You can think of Docker Registry as a Play Store or an App Store from where you can download applications created by others, and you can also publish your own applications so other people can use it. Use the command docker pull, and to publish your own Docker image, use the command docker push. Syntax for push and pull are given for your reference. Also, Docker Hub is the most famous public registry, so if you have time, just check it out. Now, moving forward, let us look at how can we create Docker images from the Docker containers. Till now, we have learned that Docker containers are created from or with the help of Docker images. But here you can also create Docker image from a Docker container with the help of import and export commands. Both of these commands use archive files to create Docker image. Not to mention that the archive files are shareable. To create archive file from a Docker container, use the command docker export. The syntax is given below, and to create Docker image from the archive file, use docker import. Again, the syntax is provided for your reference. Till now, we have learned that Dockerfile helps us create our own custom Docker image. And with the help of Docker pull push commands, you can use Docker images created by others from the Docker registry. And we can also create Docker images from the Docker containers with the help of export import commands. Now let us look at some of the basic container commands. Docker create will prepare the container for your use. Docker start will start the prepared container or any stopped container for the use. Docker run is a combination of both create and start. That means first it will prepare the container for use and then it will start that container. Docker stop will stop any running container, and to start that container again you have to use the command docker start. Docker remove will delete the container. An example is provided for you. This example will first prepare the Ubuntu container and then it will start the Ubuntu container so that you can enjoy Ubuntu environment. In the upcoming videos we will look at Docker architecture, then we will have Docker hands-on where we will practice some basic Docker commands. We will also have a look at the differences between Docker and VM. We will also learn how to write our own Dockerfile. In case if you have any doubts, write it down in the comment section and I will respond as soon as possible. Also, do not forget to subscribe because we are going to learn a lot. Thank you and have a nice day.